Keith Reynolds.
As you've realized, Flatzoid's perspective channel has changed. There is a big reason why I'm doing this. I feel that this whole flat earth environment is a bit toxic, but not based from flat earthers.
When I met my wife, I used to be into some things I can say I'm not very proud of, like most men probably, pornography and
Be an adult. Pretend for a minute that you're an adult and let me finish without interrupting. Okay?
But you're
just pretend.
claims.
Just pretend that you're an adult for a minute and don't interrupt.
You're making
Just
claims.
pretend for a minute and don't interrupt.
You're making claims.
Just pretend for a minute and don't interrupt. Pretend that you're an adult. Pretend. Flatzoid, just pretend.
The frames came by mistake.
Were you full of shit then, or are you full of shit now? Answer the question, please.
We all know why went with on the group.
Yeah, we get it.
Ski.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Have you ever heard of the saying before, village bicycle?
So who is Mr. Irrelevant in this case?
Flatzoid FE.
Who the is that?
I have no clue, okay?
This observation kills the globe 1,000 times over. Be there or be sphere. Cheerio.
Yeah, my subs go down, not up.
Oh, 24.
Then they moved to 17. And then they moved to 13. And eventually they came to 11.
And as I said previously, it doesn't matter if I fuck your wife 4 times or 24 times. It doesn't matter. You're still getting crabs.
Keith Reynolds is the owner of the YouTube channel Creality Jesus Saves. He is a flat earther from South Africa who is better known by his former username Flatzoid. You will hear me use the name Keith and Flatzoid interchangeably throughout the video, and you will hear people refer to him as Fkatzoid as well. I will fill you in on why that is, but for now, just know that Keith, Flatzoid, and Fkatzoid are all the same person. My name is Steve, and this is my totally not creepy van. Ignore your survival instincts and hop in the back. This one's gonna take us on a trip. Flatzoid recently rebranded his channel after making an ass of himself in the wake of the final experiment. I will cover that incident later in the video, but it is only a small piece of the Flatzoid puzzle. For the better part of a decade, Keith has engaged in scientific and philosophical debates, expressing deeply religious worldviews, founded in his personal belief that his interpretation of the Bible is scientifically accurate. Flatzoid's facade of intellectual honesty quickly erodes when he is faced with information that contradicts his worldview. And instead of showing humility and learning from his experiences, he chooses to lie to protect the fragile ego he has crafted. In my opinion, Keith is only concerned about the internet crowning him God's bestest soldier. Literally. See? And he is quite cringy in the way he goes about it, so let's point and laugh. The events that laid the foundation for the Creality Jesus Saves Flatzoid Keith touched his pee-pee Fkatzoid persona fall into 2 main categories. His personal, private life events that he shares publicly with strangers like me, and his academic/scientific pursuits. Both sides of the track are just littered with failures. A truly embarrassing display of intelligence and self-control. Let's start with his academic shortcomings. Flatzoid shows no hesitation when it comes to debating experts across various scientific topics. He should show hesitation, but Flatzoid actually has an allergy to common sense. This first clip I'm going to show you will give you a good idea of how Flatzoid conducts himself in these debates. This particular debate is about visual perspective and the limits of the human eye. Enjoy.
they specifically talk about they also include distance measuring things, which have limitations, but the theodolite does not. It's just the ability to see it and to turn an angle to it. They're different things, Flatzoid. Pay attention to those kinds of things. Do your own research. All right. So now you were about to show us the correct way to apply all of these things that you say are necessary. So go right ahead.
Again, perspective is 3-dimensional. Orthographic is 2-dimensional. You made the claim that orthographic is showing the perspective.
Yes, and I'm happy to show that it is accurate. So, where is your demonstration of the more correct way to do it, doing however you think is the correct way to do it? Go ahead. Just present the right way to do it. Go ahead.
I don't need to present anything because you just made my point.
No, you made a positive claim that it must be done a different way. And so go right ahead and show the proper way to do it as you have claimed. Go ahead.
Remember what was said. The claim was orthographic is perspective.
Yes,
that's what you just said.
Absolutely, and I'm glad to show that I am correct in doing it.
Great. So show where all perspective is taken in account with your orthographic.
I did right here, and so I got a height of 4.89 feet, and so as soon as you show the proper way to do it with your method, then we can compare our two methods to see which one is accurate.
So at that distance, what optical effects would you expect to see?
At this distance here, they would be minuscule. I would expect, yeah, very small.
So you're making my point there. You don't need to take it at such short distance. Now, what happens when you go to further distances?
Oh, I don't know. You present what it does. Go ahead. It's on you.
Again, I don't need to present anything.
You certainly do. You are making the claim that there must be a different process. Show that different process, Flatzoid. It's on you. Go ahead. I'll make you full screen when you run the process through so that everybody at home watching along can see the right way to do it according to you. Go ahead. I'll prepare to make you full screen so you can run through the process, and then we can see, then we'll compare whether yours is more correct than mine.
Okay, I want to show you a video, and then I want to see if you can tell me.
Is this video going to show the correct way to apply perspective according to you?
Okay, guys.
Because that's your claim. You've made a lot of claims about how to do perspective, and I'm just waiting for you to show the right way to do it. So just go right ahead. Just a second here. Just a second. It's not yet. Hold on.
And I want to see
there
if
you
you
go.
can
All right. Go right ahead. So you're showing the right way to calculate perspective. Go ahead.
I'm going to show you. Okay, going on. I'm trying to get, where is it? Okay, tell me, based on this, how are you going to get the height of that card?
This is for you to show the right way to do it. Go ahead.
Draw orthographic presentation quickly based on that. Let's just say, let's say you can do an angular measurement test. Can you do an angular measurement test? Where's the bottom of this card?
This is not what I was observing in my measurement. So how does it apply here? I don't know. And it has no application to the observation I made, because I wasn't making an observation immediately over the surface of something that I don't know what that is there, but that's completely not applicable to my situation. So I'm just waiting for you to show the right way to include perspective in your in what you think is the right way to do it. So go right ahead.
So when you calculated the shadows, remember you measured the shadow on the ground, then you calculated its height.
No. In this here, I measured the angle to the light with the theodolite in my phone. That's what I did.
And I see you at that, but look at this. If you have this over a longer distance, how would you take this into account with orthographic view?
It doesn't apply here because this is not applicable or analogous at all to what I was doing.
It is, because this is what you see in reality, perspective.
Yeah, so how do you calculate that? Just show me the right way to calculate that.
You are the one that you're the one making claims you can calculate. No one's claiming this. Do you understand? You
You claim that you cannot calculate the height of anything? I agree.
No, you cannot.
I agree.
Calculate.
You're not capable of that. I do not disagree with you at all. I think you're completely correct. You do not have the capability of calculating any of these things.
Don't misrepresent me, because you can't understand basic of 3 dimensions and 2-dimensional differences.
Well, I'm just waiting for you to show how it's done then. Go right ahead.
I don't need to, because you made the claim.
No, you've made the claim that it needs to be done a different way. Go ahead and show it. Go ahead. Show the right way to do it, Flatzoid. Just show that. Just present for everybody the right way to do it. Bring forth your evidence.
Spoiler alert, Flatzoid doesn't show us the correct way to calculate perspective. He doesn't even show us the incorrect way. Instead, Flatzoid attempts to employ the falsifying your claims makes mine true technique, which MC Toon sees right through. Toon holds his feet to the fire by asking the simple question, what's the right way? To which Flatzoid concedes that he cannot demonstrate the proper calculations. Under pressure, Flatzoid attempts to reframe his claim that perspective cannot be calculated. Ridiculous. Perspective is kind of a big deal for flat earthers, and furthering that topic a bit brings me to one of my favorite Flatzoid confrontations to date. Red's Rhetoric is a fellow YouTuber who has a reputation in the community for being awesome. If you don't think so, that's okay, you're just wrong. So Red's Rhetoric, who I will be calling Reds going forward, captured some really incredible footage of the Orion launch system abort test. In the footage, a capsule can be seen falling to Earth, then disappearing behind the horizon, before splashing down in the ocean off in the distance. The delay between the capsule disappearing behind the horizon and visually seeing the ocean water splash is an observation that flat earthers cannot properly explain. I say properly because Flatzoid definitely attempted to explain it. In an attempt to make the footage convey data that would support a flat earth model, Flatzoid ended up deleting 11 frames from the original recording. Flatzoid denied removing the frames, claiming that he only corrected for an inferior mirage. However, his correction was removing 11 frames from the original footage. Reds doesn't show Flatzoid any mercy when it comes to making Flatzoid eat his own truth pudding.
The whole reason I actually made that video in the beginning was actually to show that the horizon's never physical. It's actually just an optical effect, and that's practically how it came to be that time. And well, somehow it ventured on there to this 11 frames debacle thing, and I still stick to I showed all the frames for everybody in the video, because if I wanted to be dishonest, I would have not showed anything. I would have just straight away just removed it all and say, you see, blah blah blah. But I clearly marked out from the beginning. I showed the splash, and then I showed the inferior mirage line. I showed where it disappeared in, and then where the splash came from. Obviously we have a disagreement on how many frames that would be, but I think that would also be based on the frame rate of the video, on how it was set when the editing was done. But yeah, that's practically all I'm here. It's just so I can explain that it's just optical, and I never did anything intentional to try and deceive, if that's what people are thinking.
Okay, Reds, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I don't think that's true at all. Regardless of the reason why you deleted the frames, first off, we'll get to that in a moment, but the fact is you still removed those frames. And if you wanted to be very clear with what you were trying to do, you would have acknowledged, if you had done it on purpose, that you had removed frames to show a certain thing or whatever the case may be, but you literally had to be called out on it for you to acknowledge that those frames were cut in the first place. So something's not adding up there, and I would like for you to tell me why you thought that that was a good idea if you did do it on purpose, which again we'll get back to in a moment, but let's start there.
Well, it's a video that's edited, correct? So how do you edit a video without removing frames?
So you seem to be missing what I said. I'm going to try this one more time, okay? you did not point out that those frames were missing. Why?
Because it's very apparent when I remove the inferior mirage.
So you just assume people to just notice 11 frames, something that happens in roughly 1/3 of a second. You expect people to be able to see that in real time.
Well, if you watch my video, you can see very clearly I show all of it, and then I point out where the inferior mirage is, and I show it disappearing inside the inferior mirage, and then I show once the inferior mirage is, then I show once the inferior mirage is removed where the splash is.
That means small details, especially ones that happen just within a few frames, they can be easily missed. So I bet my left nut and the right one as well that you were banking on that. And what you were trying to do when you were attempting to analyze it closely and slow it down is you decided, well, since this detail could be missed anyway, I'm just going to remove it and no one will be any wiser to the situation. If you skip frames during your slow motion review, you're hiding important information there. Critical moments that last only 11 frames, dude, being skipped is a sign of dishonesty.
Okay, first of all, it wasn't actually 11 frames. I actually did a video analysis showing it was around 4 frames. Secondly, you just making insinuations on my, on my intentions, which frankly is just your opinion. Now, I disagree with that. I showed everything in the beginning for everybody to show. If I wanted to be disintentional, I wouldn't have showed anything. I would have just clipped straight out and said, oh, look, there's the splash. But I didn't. I showed everything. I even pointed out where the inferior mirage is. I pointed out the whole band of the inferior mirage, and I explained it's an optical effect. And that's
I don't care what you were attempting. Here's the thing. I don't care what you were attempting to prove or disprove or anything else like that. I also don't care how many frames you dishonestly removed. If I fucked your wife 4 times rather than 11 times, you're still going to get crabs the next time you get her in the sheets. Crabs are still there, my guy, 4 times or 11. It doesn't matter.
You're literally being a hypocrite. You're telling me you don't care about it, literally complaining about it.
No, I don't care about what you were trying to prove by removing the 11 frames. I only care that you did the removing and you didn't come clean about it until you were literally caught. So you removed my frames for a reason, correct?
Sorry?
You removed those frames for a reason, correct?
How else will I remove an inferior mirage without...
That's not my question, dude. That's not my question, dude. It's a simple yes or a no. You removed those frames for a reason, correct?
By removing the inferior mirage.
Is that a yes or a no?
It's a yes, the inferior mirage.
It's a yes. Okay, perfect. Mm-hmm. Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters. So this is on Flatzoid's channel, still uploaded. I'm sure you're wondering, did I take those frames out deliberately? Well, simple no. You said no. So in one instance, you're saying you deliberately took out those frames because you were trying to show something. And then in this video, you said, well, I didn't take out those frames deliberately. It was an accident. A simple no. So my question to you, Flatzoid, is were you full of shit then or are you full of shit now?
No, it's showing you retarded because you don't understand the argument. Read, what does it say specifically there was removed by mistake?
I don't know. What did you mean when you said, I'm sorry for deleting these frames by mistake? What do you think you meant when you said that shit?
So the frames removed by mistake. And
so you did say it was the frames. So you do know what we're talking about.
What intentionally was removed there, Reds?
Say I'm sorry for deleting these frames by mistake. Okay, so we have this statement, then we have your later statements where you say something along the lines of, I did it to remove XYZ, who the fuck cares? There was a reason behind your but in this video, you're saying there was no reason behind your removal. So either you were full of shit in the past or you're full of shit now, and you won't tell us which one is which.
The reason. I just told you there's a reason. The reason was the inferior mirage, not the frames. So again, did I take the frames out on purpose or did I remove the inferior mirage out on purpose?
Wouldn't those be occupying the same time frame of the fucking video, dipshit? There we go. I did not cut frames. I paused it and then let it play. So no frames cut according to this entirely false comment here. Reds is the dishonest one, as they use this 4K video to do frame by frame, not my video, blaming it on the quality of the video and not your dishonest frame cutting in your editor. So, were you full of shit then, or are you full of shit now?
I hired a ghostwriter for the twist ending on this one, and get this, Flatzoid's always full of shit. That exchange probably qualifies as more personal than academic, but oh well, I'm not going to change it now. But I will let Keith display his mighty intellect one more time before moving on.
People are liking your background. So
I'm not happy then.
Last week we had quite a good discussion about gravity. Well, at least for the flat Earth replacement for gravity. I tried very, very hard to steelman your position, which I found very difficult because your position goes against all of my knowledge and training of physics. But I tried really, really hard to steelman your position. And I was hoping that this week you could try and steelman my position and we could have a discussion around that side. Would that be all right?
Yeah, so today it's about gravity.
Yeah. I feel like that's good. Last week we discussed RDD, quite a lot and tried to get into the crux of it. So this week let's talk about my side of it, the globe side of it. And I think the best way to start that, like I said, is you attempting to steelman my position on gravity. Are you up for that?
We can try.
Awesome. So so obviously I think gravity is a thing. I've got tests and everything I can respond, refer to. But what do you think that gravity is? Obviously you don't think gravity is real. We know that on you don't have gravity on what you call your model. So if you were to say, well, this is what the Globers say gravity is, what would you say?
The bending of space and time in a mathematical construct. It's just a pseudo make-believe effect based on a reference.
See that's not really steelman in our position. That's going quite hard into a straw man of our position.
No, that's what general relativity says.
Well, the way that you put it, the make-believe part, that's we don't say that anything is make-believe. So
I didn't say make-believe. Did I say the words make-believe?
I thought I heard you say those specifically, yeah?
It's a mathematical construct. It's just a pseudo make-believe effect based on a reference. Make-believe effect based on a reference.
I'm pretty sure that you did say some make-believe as well. Okay, all right. Well, let's work from there because obviously there's more to it. That's part of Einstein's description. But obviously there's a lot more to gravity. So would you be able to go any deeper into attempting to steelman our position?
Yeah, we got just started, so we probably got time.
Yeah. What else would you say that Globers say about gravity?
Well, the problem is with gravity, you guys can't decide if... Oh, drinking a tequila already. You guys can't decide if it's a force or not a force. The issue you do have with gravity, though, is based on general relativity, you cannot have it as a force. So therefore, you either have to choose a Newtonian or it's Einsteinian. You can't have it both ways.
Okay, so again, that's a pretty hard straw man of the position. We don't say that gravity is a force. We say that there's a force created by gravity. So again, you're not really steelman in the position. What you're doing is you're taking what you're kind of making up your own version of what we say gravity is and responding to that rather than what we say gravity is, because we don't say any of that.
I feel that last example with FTFE is important to include because it shows how Flatzoid will inject adversity into every situation, even those that don't call for it. I truly believe that Flatzoid goes into every social interaction with a deceptive mindset, and I believe he only feels accomplished when he has effectively deceived an audience. He tends to keep a constant smug expression to exude confidence, but the act is paper thin. He knows he's wrong, and his insecurities are so deep that he can't even say what gravity is without trying to disqualify it in the same sentence. Gravity shouldn't intimidate you, Keith, and it's weird that it does. You should be insecure about that. Earlier in the introduction, I mentioned the name Fkatzoid. Let's get into that. When the final experiment was in its early planning stages, Flatzoid made a big fuss about not being formally invited. He likely would have been invited, given that he is a significant name in the Flat Earth universe, but he doesn't have any contact information publicly available. The only information Will Duffy, the person funding the expedition, could find were links to donate Flatzoid money for dicking around online all day.
All right. So let's see how dishonest Flatzoid is.
Flatzoid on you.
Here we go. Here's Flatzoid's channel. Everybody can see it. Here's the more. Oh. Where's your email address, Flatzoid? It's not there, Flatzoid.
On the bottom, you have your Bitcoin address, but you don't have your email.
Yeah, you have. Let's see what you have. You don't have your email address. So, was your email address removed along with the 11 frames you removed, Flatzoid? How do you think Will Duffy was supposed to email you, Flatzoid? How? Just type it in the chat right here, Flatzoid. How was he supposed to get your email address?
Flatzoid was watching MC Toon's livestream that night, and in a rush to add his email address to his channel description, he ended up misspelling it briefly. Flatzoid quickly corrected the typo, but that small window was all the internet needed to dub him Fkatzoid. Surprisingly, the name stuck with him and followed him until he changed his channel name to Creality Jesus Saves. Stupid fucking name. However, the nickname Fkatzoid can't take the credit for Keith's channel rebranding. When the final experiment concluded, a large number of flat earthers left the community. This was a difficult experience for many of them, as they watched a community that they invested so much into simply dissolve. When members of his community needed support, Flatzoid's behavior stood out as particularly disgusting. I redacted the person's name as I believe she likes to stay private. Here's the clip.
We all know why went with on the group. Yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
Ski.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Have you ever heard of the saying before, village bicycle?
Flatzoid issued a response surrounding the backlash in regards to these statements. It was disappointing.
Flatzoid's perspective channel has changed. There is a big reason why I'm doing this. I feel that this whole flat earth environment is a bit toxic, but not based from flat earthers itself, mostly from the anti-flat earth side, because they seem to be very obsessed and very personal in their attacks, because we don't have the same belief system as them and their globe cult. So this video is just simply to tell you all, Flatzoid's perspective is just changing. I'm still Flatzoid. The earth is still flat. God created us for a purpose. But this video is just to tell you that I'm not going to take part in the flat earth arena, as you would place it, anymore.
He didn't even take a small break.
And go and talk and rebut any of these anti-flat earth people. You see, the thing is, when you engage with these people, they seem to bring the worst out in people. They seem to bring you into situations you don't feel you should be in anyway. Sometimes you say things you weren't supposed to be. Sometimes you say things you didn't mean. But most of the times they misrepresent what you say or what you mean. And they try and dig you a hole and misrepresent you as your character false to a lot of people. Now, the thing is, I feel that although there are things that I definitely should have not said or anything, I do apologize. Specifically to I did not mean to drag you into anything. I made an off-color remark based on context that was totally misrepresented by the likes of McToon and the other company. Anyway, my apologies, did not mean to drag you into anything. Just know it wasn't my intentions and they are misrepresenting what was said and how it was said. Secondly, all the anti-flat earthers that are watching this right now, I am praying for you.
Stop. Please. The last clip I want to play is an interesting one. It's the reason you get in the van. It's that weird shit. For some reason, Flatzoid felt it was necessary to confess to the world that he had a porn addiction. I'm sorry, but God straight up did you dirty telling you to confess that to the internet. Why would you do that?
While I was at home alone, I felt I needed to confess something to my wife. And anyway, if nobody knows me, a long time ago, I used to struggle with a few things. Anger being one of them was actually quite a big thing. When I met my wife, I used to be into some things I could say I'm not very proud of, like most men probably, pornography and looking towards things like that for comfort. Anyway, what happened is a long time ago, I felt, I got delivered from it and everything, and I fell into the same trap, looking for comfort in those things. And it was buried deep inside me, kind of thing. What people don't realize is those things being hidden deep in the chamber of your heart will eventually come to light. It also causes some other things, how can you say, manifestations of things. I don't want to go into the personal details and things, but I reached a very low point recently where I fell for that trap again. It was just once, but the shame I felt.
Did that make you feel weird? I just really can't imagine getting up in the morning, starting up a live stream, and saying those things into a microphone. But I'm glad he can. With all that said, I don't think Flatzoid is even close to the worst person I've covered. Flatzoid's intellectual dishonesty is frustrating and counterproductive to his personal growth. And I don't mean that as a jab. I mean it as constructive criticism. I don't think you're hopeless, Flatzoid. But if you want people to hear the message you care about, you have to be humble, honest, transparent, and consistent. Otherwise, your good intentions start to look like bad intentions. And that's going to do it for this one. There is plenty of content on Flatzoid, more than enough to do another video, so look out for one in the future. I am personally excited for the subject of my next video. It has been a personal obsession of mine for a couple of years. But even they know that the Earth isn't flat. If you know who the Goblin of Akron is, I'm excited to be piecing together a comprehensive history. But for now, get the hell out of my van.